What's up guys, it's the Hunter Project here, and today I'm going to bring you a brand new video of Monster Hunter World. It's going to be the first Monster Hunter video on my channel, and I will definitely be making more in the future on World and Rise when it releases. But to get right straight into this video, I'd appreciate if you drop a like and subscribe if you enjoy it. The first video is going to be a Charge Blade build video, and it's going to be using the Fatalis Charge Blade specifically. Right, without wasting too much time, let's get straight into it. Right guys, so this is how the decorations have been slotted in. It's a very aggressive style build, so feel free to switch up any of these decorations to try make it a bit more of a safer build if you want to. But I would recommend always keeping in the agitator as well as the heavy magazine to make sure your charge blade has 6 files. And yeah, this build is more focused on Savage Axe rather than the Super Amp discharge, so keep that in mind, and we'll go straight into what skills we get. Right, so straight off the bat we've got the Agitator 7, which is going to give us a massive increase in damage and affinity as soon as we enrage the monster, and this is a massive increase in damage. When I was fighting Fatalis, it boosted my damage around 70 hit points, I believe, on average. This is without any of the other random buffs coming into play, so it's a massive help, especially considering you'd want to try wallbang the monster as much as you can when you're in a battle, just to get those easy hits when it's down. So while it's down, as soon as it gets enraged, you're going to have a massive damage increase, so at least you'll be going on par with the monster when it gets enraged. Then next we've got the Critical Eye, which once again is just straight affinity, which is a must for Fatalis weapons, as they've got very bad affinity but very good raw damage. And then we're moving on to Tool Specialist, which since the Fatalis update has become an extremely useful skill, and it's just really useful to be able to swap in between your mantles constantly, because when using one of them the other one's recharging. And with Tool Specialist, 90% of the time it's going to have recharged by the time you swap back, unless you're getting hammered on and like other things are making you drain through your mantle very quickly. And then we got the evade window for just making those iframes easier to hit, which is always a plus, so you're not having to waste time with the healing or anything. And then we got stun resistance, which is a just a baseline perk with this armor set because of the Fatalis armor. Attack boost coming in from the Elatrion set, which is straightforward, just an attack boost. And then we've got the critical boost, which is a massive increase in damage, because of course if you're ever playing Monster Hunter, we're obviously going to be going for the areas of best damage, the crit spots. So that'll be a 40% increase in crit damage, which is always good. And then we've got our weakness exploit, which once again just making the most out of the weakened areas, as well as our critical damage on those areas, which is really good. We've got power prolonger, because as I said before, this is a very Savage Axe style build, so we want our shield and axe to be charged as long as we can. And then the focus to try so we can charge it up as quickly as possible. And then the divine blessings, where you can swap it up a bit. If you want, you can add a bit more divine blessing and to get rid of either one of the critical boosts or weakness exploits, or even power prolonger to get more divine blessing, just so we are able to tank more hits. And then the recovery up is not necessary at all. It's just I don't have too many agitator decor, so I had to use an agitator decoration that had medicine as well. And then finally we've got our last section of skills. So Heartbreaker is one of those I've just added on for the sake of having a free slot, but it is very helpful, especially with Fatalis trying to break his head, so it was nice to have a bit of Heartbreaker in there, if any. And then we've got Capacity Boost, which is our magazine decoration, so we're just getting that extra file to just make sure we're in Savage Axe as long as possible. And then we got protective polish, just because we don't want to spend too much time sharpening a weapon or spend too much time with worse damage. So we're just trying to sharpen our weapon before each fight, or whenever we can in between little down times, where we can just maintain our maximum sharpness. And then we got Coalescence, which is extremely good on monsters with just elemental abilities, such as, for example, Fatalis in the background. When he hits you with a fireball, when you wear off that fireball, you get a massive increase in damage and affinity, which is extremely helpful, to the point where I was hitting 300 to 500 consistent hits of damage, and that was just the first hit of the downward swing or the upswing on the Savage Axe playstyle. And then finally we got the heavy artillery from the 2 mantles, which you can swap out with 2 attacks or an affinity or critical eye, sorry. So it's whatever you want to swap them out with. It's just, of course, with Fatalis, swapping between the mantles. If say the roaming ballista's up, I don't want to have to wait for the mantle to come through for me to be able to use it for max damage. Yeah guys, so as you can see, hitting for very high damage, like around 333 on up and down swings, just from having Agitator and Coalescence procced. And it varies a lot, so if you're hitting the head, especially when it's weakened, it can range up to 500. So it's just making sure you're weakening where possible and just making the most of your mantles, especially Rocksteady. I forgot to mention, sorry about this, so I do have a health augment in the charge blade, so it's just when you have the Rocksteady not having to heal, you're just being able to tank the hits and being able to heal up while just trying to go ham on the guy, on the monster. But yeah guys, I am aware that my microphone isn't too good. I will be upgrading it soon. It's just I wanted to start the YouTube just attempt of making videos, see how it goes, and then I will be upgrading my equipment as I go along. I just didn't want to spend money on it and then not grow at all, if that makes any sense. But yeah guys, I hope you did enjoy the video. A like and subscribe would be appreciated, and a lot more Monster Hunter content is on the way, with Monster Hunter World and Rise when it comes out. And yeah, like I said guys, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe would be appreciated, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.